Righty guys, so welcome back to whatever video it is, 108 I think it is, something like that. See if I get some work today, see if my back holds out a bit. Definitely a lot better than I was yesterday with the little video that I made, well 14 minutes video, whatever it was. Been to the chiropractor, they straightened me out quite a bit, still sore, still stiff, but at least I'm moving around without painkillers today. So yeah, I'll get into doing some stuff, see if I can get even maybe the fenders etched and cleaned up, or finished getting cleaned up, and then maybe attack some of these other bits and pieces, but yeah, we'll get into it. I'll keep videos short today, I'll just sort of puddle away, get done what I can get done, and yeah, we'll get back to you shortly. Cheers guys. Alrighty, I can't remember who it was that was saying for my little gun holder thing the other day, I said maybe you could put some horseshoes or something on it. Well yeah, probably could if I had some. I'm actually just jamming the compressor at the moment, but yeah, I could probably make even just a couple of little bits of wire around here to catch that. It's probably not a bad idea, just bring something actually off here, or even off here, bring up and do a loop around it and back down. So I could possibly do that. I might do that at some point if I can find some wire or even some fencing wire or something like that, just to help hold them a bit more steady. It's probably not a bad thought actually, but yeah. So that's my rack. I got some big motorbike back sprockets. I was actually going to cut them in half and weld one on here too, just for a bit of decoration and make it a bit stronger. But yeah, that'll be another day. Well, I don't know if you can see, I've actually got all four of the fenders or guards sitting up in the panel stands. I'm going to flick some etch on the insides, and I'm going to go my blowout, obviously, and wipe down. So I'm going to flick some etch on the insides of them. And then obviously I'll do the outsides as well, but I'll do the insides first and then I'll try and turn them over somehow and see how they fit there. Panel stands actually work quite good for them. I think the back ones are kind of probably more awkward to play with and manage than the front ones, but it should be still alright to paint them. I may have to do it some other way, but I think I'll work something out even if I have to hang them. We did talk about maybe stringing a wire between the posts, like a fencing wire, and pulling out really tight and maybe hanging some hooks off it or something like that to hang some stuff up, which could work too at a reasonable sort of level, but we'll work on it. But this will get these etched and primed and all that sort of stuff, and obviously get body filler and stuff on them. So, but when we come to paint, we might have to hang them up like that. Anyway, I'll get some stuff cleaned up, get them wiped down, and we'll come back to you when we're spraying. Righty, that's the first wipe down for the body panels on the inside. That was clean, like that. So I'll grab another rag and I'll give it another wipe down. They're not terribly clean. I'm just mainly doing the inside, but when I turn them over. I'll sort of wipe some of the outside, but when I turn them over, I'll do the outsides as well. Once I've sprayed the insides, if you know what I mean, I'll quickly turn them over, especially not much the back guards, but the front guards, because it's got that piece that hangs down. I'll have to turn it over so I can wipe that properly. But yeah, I'll give them a wipe again, and then I'll spray the insides, and I'll let it flash off, and then I'll turn them over and give them a couple of wipes on the outside. And do everything. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but it looks like it might be just a green old etch primer with the solvent lifting some of the colour out of the green, I think, now. So it's not quite so. First one was very black. Second one was stored a bit of black in it, but now it's just more green than anything. I think it's the yeah, it's lifting the cover off the original edge. So I think we should be pretty safe.
Sweet, works.
Right, we'll splash another quick coat on these, just to make sure that they have decently edged, because you can see it's quite thin at the moment. But we'll get another decent coat on there. Well, another thin coat on there, so it's got a decent coat on there. And then yeah, we'll go from there with any other final panel bedding. As you can see, the bit of a dent there that I need to knock out in bits and pieces at some point. Just knock the worst of that out. Put a body full of what sort of stuff, but they're looking pretty good for what they are. Just let them flash. They're not bad. I can spray it now. You can see it's still just a little bit damp in spots. But yeah, then probably need a little bit of straightening in there, just a couple of wee spots and bits and pieces. But by the time we are finished, you wouldn't know that they were the same body panels as what I started off, and probably the same body panels that they started off with years ago when they first started fixing and repairing these stuff. So yeah, that's cool. I'll go and have some lunch and just feel my back tightening up a bit, so I won't push it too much. See how I feel after lunch. I might have to take another couple of coating just to let things relax so I don't freaking get myself all crippled up again. Not that I really want to be taking codeine, but it definitely works. Anyway, we'll go blow another coat on here. Righty, I'm going to try and have a go at the back of some of these dints and marks here. I'm going to sit on that box, hopefully. See if I can get one hand up one side and a hand up the other. See what can work. At least work some of it out with a hammer and a dolly. Try anyway. I'm just not sure how that's going to work. I'll give it a wee try. See if I can straighten them. Especially that one. The rest I could actually probably get with body fuller. But yeah, I'll see if I can get this out. And there's a bit in here too. And a little bit there. Just see if I can work the worst of that out. And then there's obviously a few highs as well. But I'll get these lows out first. There's a few highs actually around the body which I probably just need to go around, just even just a hammer and just knock down. Knock the high, worst of the high spot down. Hopefully not too low on this box. Might be too low or too high. Sometimes you just never know, do you? So not sure you can see what I'm doing there. What I'm doing is I'm feeling where the dolly is, and I'm going around it, try and push the steel down around it in, and that's forcing that panel out here at that point. Like you would do when you're heat shrinking basically. Trying to get the low spots up. Working quite nicely. Rid of the worst of it, if you know what I mean. I don't have to skim the shit out of it anyway, so it doesn't really be perfect as long as it's not horrendously thick. Oh. It's damn sight better than it was. Ideally, like something on the inside, you know, you'd basically come along and tap, you find out where they are and go, no, a little bit that way, and then bang, 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 you know, so they could hold pressure on the inside. But what I'm doing works. Nice spot there. So see that? Yeah, you can. That there is high as well. Some of the others have been low. I might knock that down too. Quite recutting me. It's the worst thing. My arm's like quite long enough that way. body. The stone's been sitting here for, well, the part's been sitting here for a few hours, so I might as well just get them back out of here and stick it back together. Quick wipe out, clean out. Put that back together, ready for the next lot of stuff. So yeah, I've sort of finished. It's really almost like there wasn't a lot I could do with that body. No, I knocked the worst of that, backs those marks out of the back. Now, if I had somebody else here that was a skinny-ish person and sort of up in that back area, you know, that would probably would have helped. I probably could have got it a little bit better. But, you know, I've flattened it out enough that the lows aren't crazy low, the highs hopefully aren't high. When I'm blocking back, I'll just, if I have to, so you can see me better. If I have to, I'll just, you know, when I've done the initial skim the body filler, if there's anything that looks like it is really high, I can try and come down and knock it down if I can. Obviously, if I can't, I can't. We'll just have to put a little bit more body filler on it. There might be the odd spot, but no, I think I've got the worst of it sorted. If it's any high spots that I can't knock down, it's probably sitting over top of wood or something like that, that there's probably not a lot I can do about. But the big thing is, these things were never, you know, really from factory. Probably the fit and finish was probably never really anything like it was today. It would have been reasonable, but not like they are today. No even close, you know. Shouldn't put that spring in there. But anyway. So yeah. So it'll be, like, at the end of the day, like, how good are you going to make it? Are you going to make it such a really, really nice, restored driving car that's similar to what it would have been factory? Or are you going to go the next level and go, basically the next level was concourse, DL, you know, if you take it to People Beach sort of type thing? Well, we're not going to be at that level. No, you could quite easily go that level, but, you know, you're all of a sudden, that last 10% of the work to finish is massive. You know, like you're probably making your work 3 or 4 times as harder again, you know, to try and get to that perfection level. And, you know, you'd go back through a lot of this and, you know, you'd probably even pull some of the panels off. You would dolly them and hammer them and all sorts of things. Like, you'd get really, really, really stupid nitty gritty, like those fenders and stuff, you know, you'd roll them in the English wheel. Like, I thought about doing it for a couple of them, but they're not that bad. You know, like, I might gain a little bit, but again, if it's a little high, I can knock it back a little bit, you know, and feel like I could probably run it through once or twice just to maybe knock anything high down and maybe push the whole thing up. But you know, how much you're going to gain, you know? Yeah, we're not talking a $500,000 car here. You know, it's not a Rolls Royce Silver Ghost, or it's not a, you know, a Phantom, or, you know, a Duesenberg or a Bugatti, or I don't know, you know, like there's a number of cars that are worth a lot more than what the Studebaker's worth. But, in the day, it should be still a really, really nice restoration. You know, we're trying to go a fairly good representation was better than what it was new, within reason, you know. You got to cut it off at some point. You know, they were never, you know, millimetre perfect door gaps because of just the wooden body for a start, wooden frame body. You know, that changes so much all the time, you know, and when we put it back on the chassis, we're hoping that we can get the gaps back to where I had them. which were pretty reasonable. Now by the time we do body work and whatever, but yeah, I'm hoping that we can get them really close. I may have to, I don't know, we were talking about maybe spraying it off the frame, but I may have to clamp it down on the chassis and mask everything up. Clamp it down hard without maybe the running, without the side skirts and all that sort of stuff on it, and mask everything else up, and then do the final equipment and spray that outside. You know, I might have to spray around the jams, put it together, bulk it down, and spray around the outside. I'm not quite sure how we're going to attack it yet, because then I can know if I'm going to have the gaps pretty right, and then we can probably let the body go a little bit, pull those last pieces in, or lift it, you know, a little bit. But I don't want to take shit off and on and undo bolts too many times. And once I get it on, I want it to be there and permanent, you know. I don't want to be doing too much so, like it's one and a half dozen the other. You either get it looking pretty good to what it is and hope it's really good when you bolt it all back down. It was good when I took it off, but whether it's going to be good when I put it back down or not is anybody's guess. But anyway, that's that gun back together, ready for next time. Do a little bit of, I'm just going to check the doors over and down over. It's going to look really well. It looks like it might need a little bit of work. Just final finishing before we go to body filler, because that's the next step, you know. We're at that point. I was looking at this before. That's got quite a dent in it, or a dent in it. That needs straightened out a little bit. You know, just a few bits and pieces like that, that, you know, just could do with a little bit more attention. But the rest of it is, we're just going to have to get the body filler. And like, I could roll this wheel, metallic wheel, and just maybe knock a few marks out, but I just don't know how much we're going to gain. You know what I mean? We're going to gain enough to warrant doing it, you know, or do we just get everything, you know, I can bolt this on the car, you know, with the bolts back onto that body like that, I think, not sure if I can, but possibly can, you know what I mean, so just a check around here. Quite well enough. It's not extruding out, but we could, if we really wanted to, could bolt, you know, those few bolts in, tighten them up just to check. But I think we'll get it pretty good. Yeah or not? That out and might straighten this edge a little bit better. Just dolly that around a little bit. Not perfect. So I did muck around with it the other day, fixing a couple of little issues. So I can't remember exactly where I was mucking around with some stuff. Yeah. I'm half tempted to roll it back. Just so I'm going to get this back piece of here a little bit better where it's been quite hammered. Almost want something in my hand. See if I can knock some of these out so I can straighten that edge a bit better. I think most of what there is there to stay. There's nothing that's, you're not gaining anything. That's the thing. I was just mainly looking for anything that was really high or anything that was low, and that a bit over the top, just to try and maybe lift or drop that Marko dint. But yeah, I think we're sort of at it with those. I'll have a quick look at the doors. I haven't had a decent look at them, so I might lift these off and just have a quick scan over the doors. There's probably not a lot I can do with them either. Righty, so there was a couple of little marks and doors, buggerable, just a couple of little high spots that when I had a good look, I just put the dolly underneath and just knock them flat. The fenders, I think they're about as good as they're going to get without going stupid. I've just pulled these down. It was bolted together. I've just pulled the pins out of the hinges to hold the two pieces together, and obviously undone the hinge out of the middle. So these need, again, I'll see if I can get a couple of new Scotch-Brite discs. I don't think I've got a decent one here together. Turn your camera around. Yeah, I don't think I've got a decent one here. I've got a few ends, if you know what I mean, but there's that one. That might do. That'll get me started. But yeah, it probably needs the edge knocked back. I don't think this one hasn't been knocked back yet, so I do have one that I can start with and get these cleaned up. Again, I might drag the tarp on that outside in the next day or two if I can get some decent friggin' weather, because it's been pissing down the last few days. Because some of this I'm not going to be able to get into very well. So I'll Scotch-Brite what I can, both sides. Obviously I can probably Scotch-Brite this side, but I can't do the other side just because of the what do you want to call these things? Flutes, vents, whatever. I can do obviously this side and this side easy enough, and again just maybe give it a light sandblasting around that hinge. I've done most of this in there earlier on, but it's been a few months since I obviously made them fit nicer and got them fairly well cleaned up, and now they've been sitting for a while. Unfortunately, it's probably been sitting long enough that they start flourish rusting again, obviously. So you need to get these Scotch-Brited up, and then we'll crank out the sandblaster, like the hand one, and the bucket, and we'll go around these other pieces and gently go over these bits, get them cleaned up, and and then obviously the rust treatment, which is a shit on these things because these are an absolute bitch to get into. But I might be able to avoid these. I don't know. We'll see how these come up. Once we Scotch-Brite and give them maybe a sandblast, it might be alright. And give them obviously an etch. And then obviously have a wee look once I've got them etched, because they are a lot easier to see any other really bad highs or lows. Maybe knock the odd little mark out if needed. Then we can start prepping these for body, well basically be prepped for body filler. So yeah, and then it's on that other back panel, wherever it is, the piece that goes between the rear guards over the fuel tank. So we've got that to etch, which I'll probably do that with the hood sides. I keep forgetting about that because it's tucked in the corner here. And then we've got this, which we need to clean up as well. And yeah, and then we're into small pieces, into some of the other funny little bits. Actually, Arco sent me a message yesterday and today saying that somebody in America that he knows has got, or somebody knows somebody that's got some 25 Studebaker, or maybe parts, so hopefully we might be able to get a couple of things, hopefully some door latches. Actually, that reminds me, I'll take a photo of the door latch and the bonnet latch pull things. So I need to find them and take a photo of them. and send them to Arco. That reminds me actually quite nicely. So yeah, I need to take a photo of those so Arco knows what they're looking for, because I know we are short on that stuff and we just haven't been able to get to swap meets or anything like that because we've been locked down again for the last few months. So I'll find those bits, I'll take some photos, I'll send them, flip these through to Arco now while I'm fresh on it, and yeah, I think that might do for the day. I'll grab another couple of Scotch Brights tomorrow and hopefully get these cleaned up and etched in the next 24 hours. Righty, I think that'll do. Well guys, we'll catch you later on. Righty, morning everybody. I was actually just, I had all this crap on, I was like, oh, I haven't made an intro for this morning. So yeah, I'm about to Scotch Bright what I can on these hood sides and top, whatever you want to call it, inside and outside, so we can get these cleaned up and get them prepped for etch. Unfortunately the weather's crap, so yeah, I can't get them out inside and sandblast, but I might throw them back in the cabinets when I've sort of got these Scotch Brighted up, maybe do the bits that I need to do. I know it'll fit in there just, a bit of a pain, but it'll fit in there just, and I can probably get what I need to. Going to get some diesel in the heater and get some temp back in here. Too, I've just got the doors open at the moment, but it's freaking cold, man. It's freaking October, it should be quite warm here now, but it's Southland, so the weather can be anything. It can be snowing at freaking Christmas time up in the hills too, so yeah, because we're sort of far enough south and the next stop is Antarctica pretty much. If you get that cold breeze come up and shit weather, yeah, it doesn't matter freaking how hot it was yesterday, it could be freaking freezing the next one. So yeah, just the nature of the beast down here, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll get into it. I might video a bit of a cleaning up, I suppose, and I grabbed another 3 of those Scotch Bright wheels, so hopefully that's enough to do me for a bit. So yeah, I'll get into it and we'll get it done. Not sure if you can see this or not, but I'm going to treat the outside of this differently. That panel there I think I can get away with, it's pretty clean. The inside of this is pretty clean too, but just the pitting and the rust in this, I'm definitely treating this. So I might paint that now while I clean some of this other stuff up and see what this looks like. This one here is not as clean as the other side, and we'll see what this is like both sides, just to see whether it's worth treating the bits, because I have treated this stuff before, but it's been a while. So, but yeah, you can sort of, it's kind of hard for you to see. You can probably see it a bit more now. It's quite pitted and black in there, so I might just retreat this side of these and then give them a clean up again and run the Scotch-Brite over them and once it's dried off. So I'll do that now, and then I'll carry on with these while it's drying. Righty, where we at? So I've got this one almost done. I'm going to have to change the pad so I can get into here cleanly, so I've got a nice good edge, not a worn off one. But I've pretty much done the rest of it, both sides. I've just painted some rust treatment in and around these pieces. That piece there in the centre is not too bad, and that's an absolute mongrel to clean up. So I think I sandblasted it before down sort of through there, so I think I'm going to leave that centre piece alone. I might do the other side of it too, just in spots. I've done both tops of these. The underneaths are pretty good. They've never really been subject to a lot of rust. I'll double check, but they're pretty good on the other side. But the tops are quite pitted and stuff like that. It feels like it's going to rain again. Yep, freaking heck. Stupid freaking weather, but anyway. So that one there's the first one I've done. It's fairly dry. This one here's done a wee bit before that one. As you can see, like see all the black spots in there. So I'll leave that do its job, and then we'll go back over with the those Scotchy-Brite pads and give them a real good clean up, and then I'll probably a light DA, and then just obviously go over any other spots and bits and pieces, just make sure they're right. So yeah, I've got the hinge and the sandblast, which I'll give the sandblast shortly. It's been done. Like it's got that green edge on it. It's pretty clean. I'll give it a tidy up. I think it should be pretty good. And obviously the little in the bars or the hinge bars that go in there, I'll give them a light go over as well. Actually, I'll pop them in there while I'm thinking about it. It's sitting over here. Throw them in there while I'm thinking about it. So you'll do them shortly. Freaking weather's shit. God, it sucks. It should be warm, but it's not. But anyway, so when I get a bit closer for these, hopefully this afternoon I'll get these cleaned up and we'll crank the heater up for about an hour, you know, just to bring the temp up so it's nice and warm in here, and then shut it off and spray these. At least that these will be done. So yeah, we're getting close. But yeah, I better start putting some body filler on there shortly. The chassis should be, I don't know, it should be back sometime shortly. He said, when did it leave? A week ago, was it a week ago? Thereabouts? Yeah, about a week ago. So he said it would only take about a week to do. So, like to obviously sandblast and then paint it. Hopefully that'll be back shortly. Once I get these sorted, I'll put them away and we'll start stripping this stuff, get it ready to go back on the chassis, and obviously figure out what needs to be done here. A lot of these things here are all, they're adjustable. They've got all those like little adjustable cups and sleeves and all that sort of stuff in it, so I think they should be pretty good. I need to obviously check the excessive wear, but yeah, like I think when you grease these up and adjust them all up, because they got adjustments for the ball joints and everything, like you can adjust with like little cups up and down and all sorts of funny things. So I'll have to talk to Dad a little bit now. I'm not really in the full-on know of this sort of era of stuff, some of the stuff. But I think that's basically all you got to do is adjust it up, set it, and obviously fill it full of grease, and they should be good. You know, again, it's not doing a freaking million miles an hour, and it's not going to be doing 100,000 k's in a year. You know, if it does 4 or 5,000 k's in a year, you might be lucky. If that, unless you happen to go on a long trip in it. But so yeah, but the springs have all been done. They just need cleaned up. The only things that need checked over, I think, is the kingpins and obviously wheel bearings and stuff like that. And obviously this needs cleaned up. So yeah, we may need to get these sandblasted too, possibly. See how this stuff cleans up and treat it and whatever. While wheel it, in some ways it might be easier to sandblast it. Just get the case sandblasted and cleaned up and whatever, and then just paint it. We'll see how that goes. It might be just faster and easier. Because again, they're a bit of a bitch of a thing to clean up, but it should be alright. While wheel and whatever, should be able to get it cleaned up fairly well. And then also we can start doing other stuff. Get that diff sorted so we can get that back in there. That should be one of the sort of the first mechanicals, I think. Obviously apart from sorting the motor out, but that needs to sort of go in with that. And then we don't have to worry about it again. But yeah, right, we'll carry on. Oh, I've just treated this other piece as well. This looks like it's got a while before it's gone off and finished doing its thing. It's about 11:30ish, and so I might go home and have an early lunch, shoot back here later on, and clean these up. That'll give these hopefully enough time to, well, at least some of them to start going off, it's actually dried, and then I can clean these up and double check the other sides obviously and treat them if needed. And yeah, whether we get them etched today or not, I don't know. But yeah, I could probably clean something else up, but I don't want to trying to do too many pieces at a time. I can just go have an early lunch. It doesn't matter to me any. It's only me here, so it doesn't matter if I have an early lunch or not. But yeah, no, we'll let it do its thing and come back and there and whatever and see how we're getting on, and hopefully attack that one there. Alright guys, we'll catch you later on, and yeah, see you after have some lunch. Righty, so it almost taken 2 hours freaking for the shit to dry. Well, since I left at lunchtime anyway. It's been quite good because it gives me back time to rest while it's freaking still trying to sort itself out. But yeah, God, it's so cool. It's struggling to dry. I might close the doors down and crank the heater up and blow up this direction so we can get some of the stuff to go off a bit quicker. So it should have gone off by now, but I'll start trying to clean this one up anyway. But yeah, that's cool. See if I can get these frickin' things. Well, I don't know if I get them etched today, but at least I'll try. Get them closer anyway. Might have to do a little bit of might have to do a little bit of hammer and dialing on a couple of these fins on the other side. They're not bad, but there's just a couple slightly crooked ones. Obviously need attended to, but it's not a biggie at this point. It's actually not as cold as what I thought it was, but it's still cool. It's 13 degrees here in here. This has got a thermometer on it, so it's C, not Fahrenheit. We'll crank this up and see if we can get some temp up in here, and I'll start cleaning up this shit. At least till it's blowing hot air, that way that shit might dry a bit quicker. Well, I've got one fully ready to go. The other top, I've just put in the sandblaster to go over and try and clean it up, and then I'll give it another quick DA with the. We keep swapping between the worn out pads to clean the shit off, and then one of the better pads to obviously go over it and do it better once I get rid of the worst of the residue, just so I'm not freaking tearing through those new pads. I've only got one new pad left. Man, they don't last long, which is a bit of a pain. It'd be nice to actually get a good source of them or a sponsor or something one day. I'll just plug this light back in here and give this one here a clean up, if you can see it in there amongst the dirt and the dust and shit. I actually need to get some more polish here and give this plastic another polish up. Makes a hell of a difference. So yeah, I'll do the edges and then I'll flip it, or I'll give it a light blow on the inside just to help rough it up. I'm not going to go crazy, just just a gentle blow over, and then I'll do the same on the other side. But yeah, I'll wait mainly when I get round in those hinge parts. I'll actually turn it around in there as well, just to do the other edge of it up this way, and then I'll flip it over. Do the other side as well, just to key it in a bit better. And 2 down, 2 to go. It's about, I don't know, 3:30 or whatever it is. So I'll try and get these cleaned up as quick as I can. Hopefully get them done so in the morning I can frickin' spray this stuff. Man, this shit takes some cleaning off just to get it nice, and to obviously, these aren't quite as easy as what it is to prep the body, to be honest. Just too many little funny spaces and corners to try and do it quickly. Whereas that thing you can sort of tear around it and under the edges and the corners and it's basically done. But yeah. But anyway, we'll get back to you when I've got a bit more of this done. Right, before I bugger off, so I've got them all done. I've just had a quick sweep up of the floor. I'll set myself up in the morning to obviously give them a wipe down and blow some etch on them. So yeah, that's cool. I wanted to get them etched today, but it took a long time to get them cleaned up again with that crap. It's good stuff, but it's like all that sort of product I've struck. It's shitty stuff to get off. It sort of dries real sort of sticky. I'd love to find a product that wasn't so messy. And like with getting in these grooves and stuff, I try to keep it away from the fins, vents, whatever you want to call them, louvers. I try to keep it away from them because it's a shit of stuff to get out of there. I struck that problem when I started first cleaning them up, trying to treat them for rust, but I've got them sorted now. So in the morning we'll lay them out on the racks. I'll set the racks out, give them all a good wipe down, blow down, wipe down, and then we'll blow a coat of etch both sides. So I'll just give this floor a quick sweep because there's a lot of crap and shit all over the floor. So that's cool. So that's one less thing to do. After that, half tempted to maybe put a smear of body pull around the back of that body tomorrow. Maybe we'll see how that goes too. Either that, or I'm going to start stripping these diff and the front axle to try and get that stuff cleaned up, ready to go back on the chassis when it gets here, hopefully this week or whatever. Hopefully Madura blocks and stuff will be here too shortly, because I would like to do a video on them and the paper, how that performs, because what I'll do is I'll Google the place I got them from and show what the stuff is, and then when it gets here I'll hopefully tomorrow, because I think I've got enough footage for a video. I was hoping to throw that stuff in the footage too, but we'll see how that goes. I'll go through the footage and just see how it works out. Because sometimes I might even drop a couple of pieces of video out just because it's sort of just repeating the same sort of thing, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we're pretty close. The only other major thing I think I've got to clean up, sort of paint and body wise, main panels, is that front balance. Everything else is sort of supplementary, if you know what I mean. It's not a major panel. So yeah, like there's shitloads of stuff to paint anyway, but yeah, that's sort of the main sort of parts, and it goes back together. But yeah, that's cool. Lots of other stuff to clean up and paint anyway, but it's it's going to be a long process. We'll get the body back, we'll get the chassis back together, get the body back on that, get that bolted down, get all the doors and stuff on it, and then we can start doing all the smaller stuff as well. We can paint a lot of smaller stuff off, set up somewhere we can clean it up, take it somewhere, paint it, bolt it on, clean it up, paint it, bolt it on as we go on, get a bit of stuff done. But it's cool. I've still got one Scotch Brite left. wherever I've shifted them to when I cleaned up before. Yeah. So yeah, I've still got one full one. I used 2 this morning. Wow, 2 and a bit. Because I've been using the ends as well. Some other ones just to help when I was cleaning the crap off after I spread that stuff on it. Like I was using some of the older ones just to take that initial crap off it when I first started cleaning them back up. Then I sandblasted them in the cabinet, took them back out, went back over them again, and obviously blew it down, wiped it down, gave them a quick wipe down, and then I'll do that again in the morning, just so the worst of the shit's off. So yeah, that'll do. We'll catch you later on. Again, if this isn't the end of the video, but yeah, again, please like, share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave me a comment. Yeah, it all helps the algorithm. Yeah, and please sub. If you are regularly watching and you're not subscribing, or you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd dearly love to get to that 1,000. I know initially it's not going to be a lot of money, but it's going to be, every little piece helps. And it's. I think this sort of stuff is kind of the way of the future, if you know what I mean. If you can do a job that you love, make a bit of video content on it, put it up on YouTube or some media platform, and make an extra bit of income from it, you know, I think that's the way to do it, because freak shit is dear nowadays. God, far out. Like, I worked it out earlier on today. Our fuel was $2.50 a litre New Zealand. So there's 3.7 litres or thereabouts in a US gallon. And it's like freaking $9. It's over $9 a US gallon, my money, but when you convert that back, it's still like $6.40 or $50 for a US gallon of fuel, like 91. It's ridiculous at the moment. Just the price of fuel is stupid. But anyway, no point going on about it, but yeah, God, it's fucking not getting any easier at the moment. Like, our fuel is taxed quite heavy here. If you go to Australia, where the exchange rate's about the same, it'd be actually interesting to see what it is, but I bet you it might be $2, but I bet you it's not $2 yet. Like, there was a big difference between here and there when I was over there 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, before we came back, just before COVID. Like, the price difference then was quite a leap. 50 or 60 cents a litre, and it doesn't need to be that pricey, but it's just what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. Just gotta grin and bear it. So yeah, alright guys, we'll catch you later on. Cheers. Hey guys, if you need welding gas, go see the boys at Cool Gas. If you're in New Zealand, yep, go see these guys. They'll look after you. Cool Gas, New Zealand.